Hey guys, Lindsay with the Scrap Room here. Today I'm going to show you how you can make some printable greeting card fronts with some of your favorite PNG graphics using Canva's free online design program. This project is very easy to do, even if you're brand new to using Canva. This tutorial is going to walk you through from beginning to end and is going to show you how to make printable card fronts to layer on top of your blank greeting cards. Printable card fronts are a useful thing to know how to make. You could create a bunch of cards in bulk for a specific event or occasion. You could create beautiful handmade cards without a cutting machine, share matching sets of cards as a gift. But be sure to stay tuned because this video is bursting with inspiration, and at the end I'll be sharing a resource you'll definitely want to save, screen grab, and send to your craft besties. These printable card fronts work great for birthdays, thank you notes, sympathy cards, or even just a quick thinking of you card, so you'll be able to use this skill you're learning today a lot. In fact, I know you're going to love this project so much. We're going to start out by just making you a template that you can use over and over again with all different sorts of graphics. Start out by going to canva.com and create a new custom size workspace. You will need a Canva account for this, but the free account is going to work totally fine. You don't need to have the pro account to do this project. I like to make A2 size cards. They're a great size for mailing and sharing with people, but really, I suck at math, and the math on this card is so easy. You just cut a piece of US letter size heavy cardstock in half, and then fold those pieces in half. It couldn't be more simple. So we're going to use an 8.5 inch by 11 inch workspace for this project so that we can make enough to make 4 A2 card fronts. I usually cheat and buy my envelopes. I don't make those by hand. You can get a large box of them fairly cheap just about anywhere, and they're great to keep on hand. So I'll drop a link to my favorite ones that I use in the video description if you need to pick any of those up. I do usually make the effort, though, to line my envelopes. If you haven't watched my How to Line an Envelope in Under 60 Seconds video, be sure to watch it. It'll teach you how to line any size of envelope in less than a minute. It's super easy, and it's a great way to elevate your envelope with hardly any effort at all. Anyway, back to this project. Once your new workspace opens up, make sure that the rulers and the guides are visible. If they aren't, go up to File up top and go to Settings and turn them on. You can also hold Shift and press R. That's the PC shortcut for it. It'll turn them on and off. But you want them on so that we can set up some guides for this new template that we're creating. Click in the top ruler bar with your mouse and drag a guideline right into the dead center of your page. You should see the Smart Guides light up. Then go to the left ruler and do the same thing, creating 2 guides that intersect in the very center of your workspace. It should visually cut your page into 4 equal rectangles. These guides, they won't show when you print or save or anything like that, but what they'll do is they'll be a visual representation of your 4 different card fronts while you're designing them. These cards I'm designing today are designed to be cut out and added to the front of a blank A2 card. I want the designs to have a nice dimensional border, so since the finished folded card will be 4¼ inches by 5½ when folded, I'm going to create card fronts that are 3 inches or 3.75 inches by 5 inches. So they'll be about a 1/4 inch border all the way around when it's adhered to the card. You could also subtract another 1/2 inch off of that to give yourself room to add a white border around the design when you cut it out, or to just layer it on top of a piece of white cardstock that's a 1/2 inch bigger. Instead of using the rectangle shape tool, which you can totally do, you can just pick a solid color, that is totally fine to do. But today I'm going to show you how to do this using frames. This will enable you to drag and drop in digital paper designs and digital pictures as well. This can be especially helpful for things like save the date cards, wedding or baby showers, graduation announcement, party invites, thank you cards. You can even make coordinating matching sets. Head over to the left-hand menu bar and click on Elements and scroll down to Frames and click on the Solo Frame design. resize the frame so that it's 3.75 inches by 5 inches, or whatever size you want to use, and then center it into any corner of the workspace. To resize your frames, all you need to do is click and drag on the little dot in the corner of the frames, um, and that'll keep it in scale. You can also click on the little straight line on any of the edges and drag that up or over or whatever, and that will change the ratio of your frame. When you're resizing it, you'll see the little measurement box pop up, so you'll be able to see exactly what the dimensions of your frame are. Once you get your frame centered in one of the rectangles, click on it, hold Shift and the alternate keys together, and drag that frame over into the center of one of the other rectangles. That's going to duplicate the frame, and the holding Shift is going to keep it in line with the first frame. Then hold Shift and click on each of the frames to select them both, and then hold Shift and alternate together again, and click and drag the two frames down. So now you've got 4 identical frames centered in each of the 4 rectangles on your page. With all your frames lined up like this, it's going to make it really easy to cut out with a paper trimmer at the end. Okay, so now you've got a simple template that you can use over and over again. In the upper right-hand corner, click on the document name field and call this design something like, I don't know, Printable Card Fronts Template 1 or something that you'll recognize if you see it. You don't have to worry about remembering the name of it. You just want to be able to see the title and then be like, oh yeah, I know what that template is. So name it something that maybe has card fronts in it or something like that so that it's easy to find later. Next, we want to be able to find this easily down the road. You don't want to be hunting through all the old designs that you've made. So you'll be able to use this template for countless designs down the road, but not if you can't find it. So we're going to make it really easy. Let's create a folder, and then we can call it something like DIY templates. And then all of these different crafting templates that you create, you can just save all the originals to that folder. And then whenever you want to use them, you just go into the folder and make a copy. This is going to preserve your originals. All you need to do is go up to File and click on Move to a Folder. And when you do this, it's going to pull up any folders that you already have. And at the bottom, it's going to let you create a new folder. So click on Create a New Folder and then call it something like My DIY Templates, or something that's easy for you to remember. Next, we need to make a copy of this template so that we preserve the original. So go up to File and select Make a Copy. You'll notice that now it'll open up a new page with a new title that starts with Copy of whatever you had called it before. You can feel free to rename this copy to whatever project that you want to work on today. If you want to make some birthday cards, or you want to make some floral just because cards, you can rename it whatever you want. The earth is not going to crumble if you don't rename it, so don't really agonize too much over this. But if you want to, you can do that. I'm going to go ahead and call mine Floral Card Fronts 1, because I'll probably be making a few of these, but this is the first one that I'm making. Now that we're ready to get started, you're going to need some digital assets for this project. You can browse through Canva's library. They've got free designs, and then they've got some that do require pro membership. And then you can also upload your own designs from your own collection. To upload your own designs, go to Uploads on the left-hand menu and click on Upload Files to select them from your device. You can also upload complete folders by clicking on the 3-dot menu, which is great if you're uploading a bunch of designs at once and you want to keep them all organized in their own folders. You can upload things like digital paper designs, photos, clip art graphics. The digital papers and the photos, those are great for dropping and dragging in these frames that we're using for this project. And then the clip art graphics are great for layering on top to make it more interesting and add depth and dimension and just embellishments in general. You can also add text to your design. Canva has some great fonts to choose from to customize your designs with. Some are available with the free account, and some do require a pro account. You can even upload fonts to your Canva account, but I do think that this requires a pro membership to do that. But we'll add the text in a bit. For now, just focus on uploading some digital elements that you'd like to use, or find some in Canva's library that you like. Frames are great. You can drag and drop things like photos or digital papers into them, but sometimes they will try to grab things that you don't really want them to, so you just have to be aware and know how to avoid that. Basically, if you drag any image over it and then let go of it with your mouse button hovering over that frame, it's going to drop that image into that frame. So if you're layering images, and many clip art designs are technically images, so just be careful. Move it around with your mouse by grabbing it where the mouse won't be over the frame when you drop the image. If you want to add it 100% over the frame, just get it as close as you can and then use your arrow keys to move it the rest of the way. And then that way the frame won't grab it and replace whatever is already in the frame with whatever you're trying to place on top of the frame. To make your backgrounds a bit softer so your graphics and text can pop better, you can select your frame and bring the transparency slider down a little bit. This will lighten it up and provide a little more natural contrast. The clip art designs that I'm using for this project today are from my Mega Floral Clip Art Bundle. It includes several hundred different designs, so there's a lot to choose from. If you love crafting with florals, it's a great bundle to add to your collection. I'm also using some matching digital paper sets that are also available in my shop. I'll put the links to everything in the video description in case you want to use these same digital elements. The floral designs are timeless. You could pair a flower with a short quote, a Bible verse, a monogram. There are so many different ways you can use florals, and they work for a lot of different occasions. So this playground of several hundred designs is a lot of fun to work with. You'll find florals for all seasons in this Mega Floral Clip Art Bundle. There are seasonal designs for many of the major holidays, Christmas, Halloween. There's rich colors for autumn, soft pastels for spring. There's some Easter bouquets that feature Easter egg decorations with it. There's vibrant summer elements and arrangements. It's probably my biggest clip art bundle available in my shop right now. If the graphics that you're using hang over the edge of your frames, just select the clip art graphic and use the crop edge on it to drag the edge in so that it lines up with the edge of your frame. To zoom in and out so that you can see what you're doing better, you can use the zoom slider bar down in the bottom right hand corner, or hold Control and roll in and out on the roller ball on your mouse. To adjust the transparency on a background or a clip art graphic, you can use the slider like we used earlier, but you can also type in an exact value, which is handy for a situation like this where we're making four and we want them to all kind of look like they go together and be about the same background color. We're using different backgrounds for each of the designs, but since they're all in the same digital paper pack, they're all the same colors. And so if they were different transparency, one would stand out or look a little bit different. And so by just making them all transparency 35, they all are a nice soft background color that really allows the clip art graphics and text to pop. If you're someone who sells handmade cards or gift sets at craft fairs or on Etsy, this card making method is a huge time saver. You can design and print sets of 4 cards at once, and it gives your product line a really professional and polished look. You can even make these into journaling cards or tuck them into pen pal letters. They're not just for A2 cards. Once you start designing in this format, there are tons of ways you can use them. Once you've placed your graphics, you can add any text you like by adding a text box and customizing it by adding your text, changing the font, resizing it, and editing the color. One of my favorite things that Canva does is it can automatically grab the colors from the photos and images in your workspace and make it easy to coordinate your font colors with your designs. You can also manually select a coordinating color by using the color picker tool to hand pick the color you want from any image in your workspace. It's a time saver trick to remember to help you select that perfect color for your project every time. To add your text, click on text in the left-hand menu bar and then add a text box. This is going to automatically add it to your workspace, and you can just double click on it and add any text you want. You can change the font, you can change the color, resize it, add effects. There's a lot of options that you can do to customize this text in Canva. When you're choosing fonts, try mixing a fancy script font with a clean serif or sans serif font. Canva makes it really easy to experiment with different font combinations, and they've even got some set up that you can click on to add to your workspace that are already paired up. Don't be afraid to go bold with text. When you're designing card fronts, the message should be clear and easy to read, especially on that small 3.75 by 5 inch card design. Another way to make your text really pop is to reduce the transparency slider on the background, like we've already done here. That's just a good way to help create some extra contrast between the letters and the background. You can also grab the square shape tool and use it to create a rectangle that goes behind your text in a contrasting color as well. That's another great way that you can do this. And with the rectangles, you can actually layer them if you want to have just one rectangle behind, or if you want to put a slightly bigger rectangle behind that so that it's got like a nice edge around it. There's a lot of different ways that you can accent the text on your card design. To create a two-layer journaling mat, just create your first rectangle behind your text and then select the rectangle and hit Control C to copy it and Control V, and that's going to paste it. And then you can right click on the new one and go to layer and send it backwards until it's behind that first rectangle, and resize it a little bit so that it sticks out around. On this one, I'm going to have it just stick out on 3 of the edges because it's butted up against the edge of the card. If you actually had this text block in the middle of your card where you wanted the border to go around all 4 edges, you could actually just select the first rectangle and add a stroke to that outside border. When you go up to the top where the stroke options are, you can change the width of the line, so you can have it be like a really thin border if you want, or you can put it at like 4 or 5 or something even bigger to create a bigger border. When you go in to change the color on something, it's going to pull up some of the colors from the images in your workspace, but it's probably not going to show them all right there on that main page. So if you click on the Show More option, it's going to pull up all of the colors that it's got in the images on your current workspace. One of the great things about digital art is it's really easy to make changes. You can try using different colors and different color combinations on things, and then just hit the undo button or the back button if you don't like it. It gives you the option to just quickly go through a bunch of different things that you think you might like and pick out the very best one. I'm going to make 3 different occasion cards for this set, a with sympathy card, a just because, and then a happy birthday card. And then the 4th card, I'm actually just going to leave blank because it's really, it looks great blank, but it's also so that if I want to customize it later with different text, I could do that really easily. When you're adding text to your card fronts, you'll notice that on some designs, it'll look better to have the text over off on the side, on the left or the right. Some of them will look better in the center. You can change the alignment of your font by clicking on the Align tool up top, and it'll cycle through left align, center align, right align, and then justified. You normally don't want to use justified because that's going to like spread out the letters and sometimes can make things look a little funny. But on this one, I'm going to use left align, right align, and center, so you'll get to see them all in action. I'm going to go back to this first one for a minute because journaling mat's kind of bugging me. I'm not really sure if I like this or not. But that's one of the great things about digital. It's really easy to go back and change it. You don't have to have a glue mess up or anything like that that you've got to fix. You can just hit delete and it's gone, or change the color and it's a different color. So I'm just going to kind of tinker around with this one, and I think I might just remove the rectangles and make the text pop a little bit better. I don't know. I'm going to think on it for a minute. I'm going to go into this next card for now, though. You'll notice that I'm copy pasting the text field instead of creating a new one. The reason why I'm doing this is because it'll copy the same font and color and everything of that previous text field. By the way, the font that I'm using here for this project is called Playlist Script, and it is one of Canva's free fonts. So if you want to do this one, you can just look it up in their font menu. It's called Playlist Script. Okay, back to this first one. I think I've made my decision here. I'm going to remove the background rectangles. I did group them together just so they were easier to move around. So just select it and then click on Ungroup. And then from there, I can just click on each of the rectangles and hit delete, and they magically go away. And then with the text selected, you'll notice that there's little like rounded arrows. If you click on that, that's how you can spin or rotate the design around. So I'm just going to straighten it back out and make it a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to make that S a capital. I think that'll look a lot better. I'm also going to rearrange these elements real quick because I think that the text will look better down at the bottom on the right, and then make the plant higher up and a little bit bigger. Now, I've designed a sympathy card, a just because card, and a happy birthday card, but that's not to say that these cards can't be something else too. Because this is a digital design, all I have to do is go back into the same document, select the text, and change the wording, and I've instantly got a different set of 4 cards. Oh yeah, yes. If you change your text at all and it doesn't fit in the bounding box anymore, you can make the box for the text a little bit bigger by grabbing those crop lines on the end, and just dragging them out. And then that way it can fit more lines on, or more words on one line. Conversely, if you want to have it have less words per line, you can always shrink that box, and it's always going to automatically move any of the lines that don't fit on the current line that they're on down to the next line. When you're all done designing, you can go up into Share in the upper right-hand corner and click on Download, and that'll give you the different formats that you can download this design as. I would recommend downloading it in a PNG format. But at this point, if you also want to keep going and add more designs to this collection, and you want to use the same fonts and colors and things like that, go down to the little thumbnail underneath the page on your workspace and click the 3-dot menu and click on Duplicate Page. And what that'll do is it'll make an exact duplicate of this page with the same fonts, the same colors, and the graphics and everything will be the same, so you'll want to swap those out. But it'll just be an easy way to carry those fonts, the same colors and everything, over onto a new design page to keep going. All right, I know I packed a lot into this video. I hope you found it really useful. If you did, please give it a like. That really helps me out. And if you'd like to see more digital craft tutorials, be sure to subscribe to my page and check out my playlists. I'll go ahead and drop a link to all the digital graphics that I used in this tutorial into the video description if you'd like to add any of them to your collection, and I can't wait to see what you create. Don't forget to come share a picture of what you design in our Digital Crafters group on Facebook so we can all see. Okay, that's all for now, so thanks so much for watching, and happy crafting!